in here.
I do not see us going yet.
Yeah, we'll get that lag too. Yeah, Farrah's here. Cosmo's here. Got some.
Wow, it's like
Yeah.
the Doom Channel apocalypse. What is going on?
You got sound or or video yet?
It's buffering on mine, so
All right.
I guess technically.
All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Fiendish with Dimension Touring. I'm here today with Audzilla at Fablight, and we're doing Kitchens Part 2. Last time we talked about cabinetry, false walls, um, the basic groundwork of a kitchen. I did some work to the test house that I had set up last week. It's a little bit more fleshed out, so I've got context for my kitchen. As far as contests and giveaways go, there's a number of contests and giveaways going on the forums right now, including the Pets of Rift Dimension that just ended a couple days ago. Grats on the Judge's Choice for your pet rock odds.
Oh, that was totally just oh crap. We don't want somebody to not get anything, so. But thanks.
Winter Charm took first place on that one, but grats to everyone that won or entered. It was pretty niche, so I
We made sure everybody who entered got a prize. That
yeah.
is so sweet.
Okay, so let me bring my UI back up because we're going to go ahead and get started. There's no point in trying to wait. So you can see just how much. I don't know if you remember the test house from last week, but there was a lot of wall um, that I ended up having to take out of this. Oop, I want to copy that one. And I'll drop this down so you can see how far in I pulled.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm just talking now because we're to the building portion. So I took a little bit of space off of this wall. Let me raise my. Okay, they said they can't hear you. They tried to say something. They said they can't hear you.
I have a lovely bunch of coconuts, diddly.
And again, this wall was where it really took in quite a bit. Don't ride your bird in my house.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I I hate
Set on fire.
I hate when people do that. I mean, I really dislike that. Please get off your mouth.
Now I gotta find the door. Hang on.
Or you could just dismount.
Right, just keep backing my butt up in the
Okay.
Okay, we continue. All right,
All right.
breathe.
So which item were you saying that you couldn't figure out what it was the other day, or that you would figure out what it was?
I can't think without my bird.
Well, never mind then.
I think these blades.
Oh, those are round O'Neill tables and shields. Okay, is Audz still silent? Well, I know she's silent now because she's muted, but okay. So for the groundwork of the kitchen, all the cabinetry and the hardware is done. Uh, the cabinetry, of course, is O'Near tables again, square and rectangular. The sink is iron rectangles. There's a filled mug. There's a filled mug here as the sink drain. These are vegetable pots and stew pots for the bases of the fixtures, as well as here for the end of the sink, which is slightly crooked from this connector. Um, the rest is like dinner plates, and these are cruets. Those should be the cruet bottles because I don't necessarily care for those. And I can't do anything. Yep, those are cruets. So now you can see why I pulled the walls in so far, so I could have room for all these tables and shit to poke out the back. The cabinets themselves are O'Near chests, kind of turned around so that there's a big light thing on the one side, so that's not poking out. There's always they don't line up exactly right on the back side, but that's okay because it's just there. And of course you just try to make sure that nothing is poking out the top or the sides or whatever, so that it looks clean. And again, different colored cruets all the way around because those are not my favorite bottle. And that the handle, the lid piece of it is actually really nice. So we'll go ahead and get started. When it comes to food morphing, it depends a lot on what time of day I have set as to what time it's, or what kind of food we're going to morph. I look for that attention to detail when I go out and tour, and so I like to build with it as well. Breakfast is way easier to morph than other kinds of foods, so I really do get kind of lazy with my time of days. I'll put in like a... If you don't have video or audio, please refresh at the top. But if you don't have... Crap, I like totally lost my train of thought there. Okay.
Looks like you need a bird too.
No, that's not what I need. So my bags are already full, so I don't have to kill odds by going to the bank every time I turn around. Your typing is killing me.
Oh, well, I guess you can hear him now.
I never... I could always hear you. Okay, so we'll get started at the sink area. So this is all like tiny little decorations. You know, the basic stuff. Let's talk like soap. A lot of people use ice cubes for soap. I like this right here. It's a pile of bricks. Shrink it down, put it in place. You shrink this dinner plate or whatever it is that you choose to use, whether it's just a plain old building block or whatever, and it looks pretty much exactly like a little bar of soap. Now all you got to do is get it to where it's not sticking through the actual sink. So now if I want to add like some dish soap, because this is a modern a lot of modern stuff in this house, I'm just going to take one of these, and I could, if I'm really hurting for the item limit, I could just leave it empty, or I could put like a little pole, and it doesn't really matter what color pole. Copy, paste, flip it upside down. So now I've got me a little bar, I got me a little thing of dish soap, I've got a bar of soap, and if I wanted like do up some dish towels, um, I can use pillows, or um, I personally prefer to do it this way. It's more item intensive to do it this way, but I don't know, I like it better myself. Everyone's going to do what they like to do. So there's that. And if I want to like put a bowl, but I don't want to use the normal bowl. I didn't mute you. I love these things right here. And since Carnival just ended, um, it's going to be really handy. These are going to be cheap. The Carnival lanterns.
They were cheap. After the stream, they won't be.
Possibly. Right now, a lot of the Carnival stuff is cheap. I scooped up a bunch of vegetable plates or vegetable pots and gravy boats and stew pots off the auction house for less than. Um, I got some of them for less than 10 gold a piece earlier. So on Greybriar, you're pretty much SOL, but for
So you guys run out. Yeah,
so now let's say I want to do maybe a roll of paper towels. There's this post for velvet ropes. You can usually grab these for silver. Most of the stuff that Minions buy that's on the store, I'm not going to get off the store because why? There's no point to it because it's way cheaper to just get it off the auction house. Do that page by page search to find the stuff that's really cheap. And then if I want it, I can leave it like that. I could set maybe a square on the end to make it look like pieces of it are coming off. Or and do a triangle. Get rid of that. I actually don't use too much of the add-on for this except to make sure that my angles are straight, like if I'm rotating. And so that's got like a whole sheet coming off. But it'll work. So I mean, we could leave it at this and call it good because that whole area over here is pretty detailed.
What if people use selective size?
Huh?
What if you use selective size? That's just way too big. Paper towels.
Yeah, okay. Well then I would
Muting.
she's killing me. That's why I usually like to do this thing instead. I mean, I honestly have not made a paper towel roll from scratch in a long time because I have it saved as a set and I prefer to do it that way. That's why you'll see it in like every one of my builds. There we go. That's better. So now it's not quite so big. I mean, you could use a plank. You could use like maybe shrink that square down to minimum size and use two. But I mean, like right now where I'm at in this dimension, I'm at 1847 to 2520, which would normally be pretty good, except for if this was an actual build and I had this whole house done and I don't have a stick of landscaping dropped. If I'm sitting at 1847 and I'm just now starting the kitchen morphing, I would probably be pretty close to panic mode. Just because I don't have any grass, I don't have anything going on outside. So if this was in an actual build, if I was doing this in an anywhere and for some strange reason I decided not to do my landscaping groundwork first, I would be, knowing that anywhere would need a lot to cover it up. Shoot, the bathroom would probably already been ripped out. I'll leave the kitchen in, but the bathroom is first thing to go. And then if you want to put stuff on top of the cabinets, that's where those little boxes and baskets and of carrots and cucumbers and all the other stuff can go. Now, say I want to have something that's dirty. There's that handy bronze and iron cauldron again. And we want to have just that edge. You can use a building block if you want. I prefer. I'm just going to take a normal teapot. I want to make sure it is actually all the way upside down. Get that to fill in, and drop that down. Now for the handle, you can use, personally I like the farming hose. They've got that nice handle on it, and the hoe part is pretty easy to cover up. Just don't talk about it. I think she's getting ready to say something about hose.
Them hose are so easy to cover up. They wouldn't be hose.
And of course, my way is not the only way to do something. You can do however you want to. And then if you wanted to, you could save that as a set. Now if you want a dirty plate or a dirty skillet, wait a minute, I don't need that. I need this dish of lentils, which is again a carnival item. You can find this, should be able to find this pretty cheap right now, along with most of the other plates and cups and whatnot. And then you'll spend more time, getting it lined up to where it's suitable for you and whatever you want to do. But now we can raise this up a little bit, get a deeper skillet. That handle's like way small compared to the rest of the pan. And there we go. Now you got a dirty pan. And so and that's not too bad. 3 items for a skillet is okay. I mean, that's doable. Made this little bread box, and this is nothing but like some planks and some discs and rectangles. I actually made that last night and saved it as a set, so very so calming. I think calming is a euphemism for boring.
It's like that ASMR stuff is really popular right now. When people like make $1 million on YouTube just like whispering into microphones. I better get a cut.
Now if I use I'll use pre-made food sometimes, especially if I'm trying to save the item limit. But one thing I will do is like add a, shrink that down. That's just a white smoke effect because there's a steam effect, but I think the white smoke effect looks a lot more natural. So I'll use that to make it look like that cherry pie just came out of the oven.
That would look if I baked it. It'd be a little crispier too.
And now if I don't want to burn up my towel or burn up my counter here, I just move a little towel in. And then not make it too straight. If I want to shrink it, of course, I can use my scale as group. Whoa. Until it's about the right size. So now if I want to make some, say I want some canisters going on here, and if at any time you have a specific question about something, please ask, because this is like what I would normally be doing if I was building one of my dimensions. So specific questions are good. Get me a little thing of chives here. Try to make sure it's all lined up. There we go. That's better. And a lot of times I'll put that on top of a refrigerator or something just to have something to take up that space. Now,
That's where all the liquor bottles go. What are you talking about?
well, I'm sorry. Audz pointed this out when we were still in the test server before 4.1, that certain varieties of these bottles that just came out look like salt and pepper shakers. Like those right there. And it's usually the number 5 version of any of those. I also like this. That's a tall jar down to minimum size. Now, again, with the copy and paste. And on this one I will do, wrong button. On this one I will do specific colors, like for the salt, I'll use the white. And then for pepper, black. And the trick is you can copy and paste if you want to, as far as making identical pieces. But the trick is then to not make everything the same level. You wouldn't have as much salt as you would pepper or whatever. So either one of those will work. Also like orange cork jugs. That also takes 4 pieces. God dang it. And then the rest, one item clutter. Get your honey jars. So you don't have to spend a lot of items doing each thing. my one of my favorite pieces right here. I use the shield as a basis for a whole lot of things like plates, um, serving trays, whatever. I mean, just so it doesn't, all look the same. Oh, that looks better. Okay. These come from Autumn Harvest. This is the green spider corpse, also known as the elusive spider melon.
Oh god, that's so gross.
It might. How is it gross? It's not wiggling. It's not doing anything.
That's just a dense spider melon. Ugh.
And it looks like a piece. The body of it looks like a piece of fruit.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when you learn how hot dogs are made.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's that, and let's shrink that down some because the kitchen knives that we have are absolutely huge. Now, if I want it to look like an actual butcher knife, I'll just start. Yeah, we call the maggots rice.
If you want me to leave, that's how you get me to leave.
I'm sorry. And then try not to have anything tilting right into midair. And then you could put some cheese down, put some bread in, whatever you wanted to do to kind of fill that plate out. Or just if you're using something really decorative or something that you're really trying to actively stump your visitors, that's where like these tables would come in handy. I really like those tables. They used to be in a lockbox. Now they're, I think, 4 or 5 lucky coins a piece. It's the round on your table. I really like them because they're kind of distinctive.
That was the most amazing circle I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, let me tell you, I can't, I can't draw worth a damn. I can. And then those tables have the bonus that they match the others. All the O'Near stuff really matches, which I kind of like. Okay, so now we're to the other part of the. Let's see, I want to take my little skillet here, and I'm just going to. Now I've already made it once, so I'm just going to use it again. Copy and paste. Like I said last time, if you're going to cover over the burners with whatever you've got, then there's no point in having it there. So you might as well take it out. Safety first, put the handle to the inside. Now if I...
Did you just say safety first?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I forgot some stuff out of the bank too. Farrah's taking an inventory of my my bank and going, yep. Red books are really cheap and they work pretty well for a whole lot of different types of morphed food like egg rolls, sausage, um, spring rolls, you name it. You can generally make a red book pass off as that item. I think food morphing once we got the carnival platters in, we really started losing a lot of food morphing. Um,
I really don't know why we haven't had the food that's on those platters separate yet. I mean, we've had those platters 6 years.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm actually running into that problem now. It's like I don't need all the extra decanters and vegetable pots. I just want the meat. I just want the meat.
Well, Kit has like a turkey morph on DA. I used to use it a lot because I tried even when I tried morphing my own turkey, that looked like it was just sadly violated, and I couldn't bring myself to use it.
Violated?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think that about?
Yeah, she's got to mute herself again. So again, if you have something on a stove and we want to reinforce the idea that this is hot, so if you're going to have stuff on a stove, then it should probably be actively cooking. Oh, they still can't hear you, Odds. I don't know what's going on with that because I have her turned pretty much all the way up. Uh, shit. Now I forgot what I was going to grab. Oh, I remember now. Not that. Not that. That. And of course, I forgot those. And so now when I have something on the stove and one item, what Diva used to call my big bowl of grits. Except I don't like grits, even though I live in the South. And this is just the cauldron with boiling water. And I put a pan of rice in it just so uh, to cover up that it's just a pot of water. Make it look like something, anything. And I'm going to use this iron pickaxe here as my spoon. And so there's that. Now if I want to, because it's brunch, we can still do breakfasty type stuff. And we're going to have cherry pie for dessert. And again, even if you're copying and pasting stuff, um, there's no need to have everything still facing the same direction. That's I think that loses a lot of the attention to detail in some other places that I've looked at, and then not the same size. So now I want to fry up some eggs. you can use to make the yolk. You can use whatever you want. I actually like these things right here. Those are the Balmy incense burners. They scale down pretty small. And then again, if you're doing something that's too small for you to see with the editor, there we go. Because you're always going to have that one breaks. And again, I'm sorry for having to get in my bank. I keep forgetting to get, there was some, there we go, that was what I wanted. Get rid of that. Did that drain? Exactly, Polly. The thing is to never have anything be identical, because that's a sure sign giveaway that you just copied and pasted. I mean, when there's nothing wrong with copying and pasting, because I'll do it all the time. But, you know, vary it up. Change the scale of something, change the direction something's facing. Turn that around. So this is my little percolator. I used to use carved wood, but now I like, once you change the direction like that of in different axes, it's not going to copy and paste well anyways. Size it so that it's mostly centered and not jabbing out of the sides. And then take my little silver stein, shrink it down some. And another one. So it's a good thing that these smoke effects are cheap to make, because I do use a lot of them. And again, if I want to really kind of reinforce the idea that the stove is hot, and take the little standing torch, and especially in those dark dimensions where you might need a little bit of extra light. There we go. So now I've got some flickering like firelight. Everything is, you know, we got stuff cooking over here so the stove can be done. So the rest is just basically making a mess, because, you know, clutter makes the world go round. I haven't, those houses that are just like perfectly arranged and perfectly lined up, I mean, they're nice to visit and everything, but they're also, you know, they're not lived in. So this is a cornucopia, an empty one. I mean, the world events are when you're really going to want to stock up on a lot of stuff. Just I want that to be a little bit bigger. Excuse my lived. Hey, that's what I do in my house. It's lived in. That's not. There we go. Why is that basket there? Who the hell knows? I mean, it's just could have held eggs. It could hold bread. I mean, you can put whatever you want in it. Now, if we've got stuff cooking on the stove, then we're gonna like say we're gonna dish stuff up. We need a place to put it. I think I used all my tables already, so let me see. Try not to spend too much time on each thing. Again, my apologies for not having everything I thought I would need out of my bags. Or in my bags instead of having to root through this friggin' bank because we need more space. Just try one of these, see how it works. Good enough. So now some other kind of food morphing. These are the loyalty loaves of bread. They come from green tier loyalty, so it doesn't even take a whole lot. But especially if you're doing breakfast, like these are pretty much some perfect pancakes. And now, again, if I want butter, that's where these Balmy incense burners will come in handy again. There we go. I want it to kind of look like it's melting, but you may not be able to do that. And since those just came off the stove, and then for canisters, you can still use the tall glass jars or any kind of jar you want, really. I like, excuse me, these right here. And you don't have to add anything to these. Yes. Yep. I mean, if you're already an expert food morpher, there's probably not going to be a whole lot that I can tell you, because I don't really feel like I'm an expert food morpher. And what I want to kind of do is turn that sink all that, and then take another one of these. So there's a little canister. Now again with the, just slap a oil decanter down. And then I'm looking for these. Yep, I had even some of these out because when I looked at this, I was like, wow, that looks like a short stack. Um, that's a tree fungi. That's one of the new minion items. So there's your stack of pancakes all in like one piece. If you don't have any loyalty whatsoever. So let's take a look. So we got a little bit of stuff there. This doggone disc. So my best recommendation is if when the world events roll around, even if it's something that you think you're not going to use, you might grab it because you never know when a piece might come in handy. Or even minion stuff. Um, Again, I think it's very important to look at things from all angles and from what, you know, different sizes. See what how things look from all directions. Like skulls. Skulls work for eggs. They work for onions. They work for garlic cloves. Um, so, I mean, let's say I'm just all you got to do is pretty much, you know, hide the face. And then they would also work for potatoes. For mashed potatoes, the frosty will work. The snowman, you could use snowman parts. Uh, Slap in like some one of the like whatever kind of plant that you want. Let me see here. I mean, even dressing up something like a pre-made platter, I'm not too keen on these platters just because they're so friggin' big. Yep, unicorns from skulls. And again, because no one wants to eat cold cold food. So we got breakfast over there. Dinner over here. Another versatile item is always going to be the orange cork jug. As long as you can hide the rest of the jug. Now I can say that I can call it whatever I want to call it. I can say it's sushi. I can say cupcakes. I can say whatever. then if I want to say that it's sushi or something, um, I can add my own context with some. It's a little set of chopsticks. And so even if you don't use Tinker Tools, um, as you notice, most of this was done by hand. I don't know if Audz, are you talking or did you mute yourself? Okay, so I mean, are there any questions? Because I know that the kitchen morphing covers a lot. I mean, it's all, and then you're trying to keep things proportional. If you look at your hand size on your character, your hands are not that big. So gigantic cabinet openings are not really going to work. Sink fixtures that are huge are not going to work out. Be proportional. Like even this this bottle right here. It's too big for my hand. I wouldn't be able to do, you know, what am I? I'm going to two hand, putting some dish soap in my sink. Um, so a lot of times to get things for more proportional, they're going to be small. And then I try to keep like my cabinet height came out a little bit higher than I wanted to this time. Just over the top of my head is where the base of the cabinets are, but the lower cabinets are all about right. The stove top itself is what's a little low. But as far as everything else goes, the pan handles, the the food itself, all of that is going to be pretty proportional because honestly, you're not going to sit here and eat this whole platter at the default size because it's, I mean, unless you're setting up a feast environment and then you got more than one person eating off of it. And even with just this little bit of stuff in here, um, the kitchen looks like it has some personality. It has, uh, it's got some detail. More would be better, but again, we only have an hour, and that hour is almost up. So I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to assume that means that there aren't any. I usually have this thing set up as a save set too, so it's not coming out right for me. But that's pretty close. It's weird not having Audz there. Did you ever get Nightbot working Audz?
Yes.
Okay. You ready to see if we can do some giveaways? Okay. We give away 5 today. That would be 5 of the 6th anniversary Tuscars. It's these right here. And while she's rolling, I'll be going through the context that I added. Oh crap. Okay, so then we'll have 4. Oh well, it's just good. I'm getting ready to take this this house down. Mark. Cosmo, Farah, and Escape Reality. Thank you. Like I said, this was just a test house. It is getting ready to come down. I have another build that's almost done that I need some of this stuff that's in here for. So thanks everyone for tuning in today. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm not sure right now what the topic is because that's some poor planning on my part. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'd be more than happy to hear it. And thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a good weekend. And we'll be back next time.